Hello and welcome to the Kilowatt Half Hour, a podcast about the world of EVs brought to you by the team at electrifying.com. Yes, welcome. We have a very special episode for you today because we are celebrating a big birthday. Well, actually two big birthdays, but we'll do this one first because, none of us are actually that old yet, but we're celebrating a 100th birthday today, aren't we, Ginny?
That is not my 100th birthday.
No, what I'm saying is today is also your birthday that we're recording. So first of all, happy birthday. But also there's a 100th birthday that we're also celebrating.
We're celebrating the 100th birthday of the podcast, not my 100th birthday, just to make that really, really, really clear to everybody.
But it is two birthdays. It's also your birthday, Ginny, and you're working.
Yay, I always work on my birthday. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So yeah, I'm here on the Volvo ES90 launch in a car that made the top 3 nominations for World Luxury Car of the Year for 2026. So if you're going to do a podcast from the back of the car, do one that's luxurious. That's what I thought. I've got my pano roof, I've got my reclining seats, my heated seats are on because it's a bit chilly here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am joining you from here.
Absolutely stunning. And talking of luxurious, Mike has basically been on holiday pretty much every day this year. But are you joining us from holiday, Mike?
Well, in keeping with the birthday theme, it was my birthday last week, and it shows Ginny and my different approaches to life in so much as my birthday was last Thursday, and I'm still here in Mallorca. So yes, I've been working. I think that the trendy phrase these days is digital nomad, isn't it? So
Nice.
Which means basically you go with a laptop and sit in a coffee shop. So I've been working there. So, but apologies in advance if you hear some music drifting into the background, because the apartment I booked in Mallorca is worryingly close to the cathedral, which you might be able to see through the window here. But there's also a busker down below who only knows 2 songs. So if you hear Careless Whisper or Imagine by John Lennon, I hope we don't get a copyright strike on it. I don't think we will because he's terrible.
Yeah.
It's nothing like the original, but we should be okay.
Can I chuck something else into the mix?
Yeah.
It's Easter.
It's Easter!
Happy Easter to everybody!
Happy Easter, everyone. Have we all stuffed our faces already, or what's the deal?
Absolutely. Eggs. And we're going to be talking about Easter eggs later.
Yes, we are. Yes.
So I know that Mike has mainly been busy driving his sun lounger and ordering pina coladas for the last sort of week or so. Did you squeeze any cars in amongst the pina coladas, Mike?
It has been noted that I've had a call from either you or Ben at 6:30 Spanish time, which is kind of 5:30 UK time, just to double check there's no sound of clinking glasses or tapas plates in the background. So it hasn't gone unnoticed, but no, it's I haven't seen many cars, no, and you know what? It's because it's in the old town of Palma. It's lovely. There's no cars, and I shouldn't say this as a car journalist, but it's quite nice to go somewhere where there isn't cars. And the cars that here are generally hybrids and electrics, so it's very nice indeed.
Nice,
but
super nice.
I've got a present for you two, and it's not really a present, but I've created a little sting for us for the 100th episode. I hope you don't mind me playing it. I've got the band back together, and I'm going to play it for you now. See if you like it. Okay.
Kilowatt Half Hour. It's the Kilowatt Half
That was amazing.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. Also, shout to you for the mention of Ginny's Wi-Fi. It's always Ginny's Wi-Fi on this blooming podcast.
I actually, that's not true. Batch is worse than me.
Yeah.
Batch and Vicky's Wi-Fi is worse than mine. That is utterly brilliant, Mike. So that's what you've been doing this week.
Yeah, spending too much time on a jingle generator and trying to write something. Yeah. So
Did you get the busker guy outside to sing that? Is that what he sounds like? 'Cause
you wouldn't recognise it. Yeah, Spanish.
I think this is a record. We're like nearly 10 minutes in and we actually haven't talked about a car yet.
Oh, okay. We probably should,
We
shouldn't
must sort
we?
that. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Let's
Right.
go with Mike first, because there's been a lot of embargoes that have been lifted this week. So Mike, hit me first.
Well, the one that's caught my eye the most is the Twingo. I mean, we're of a vintage that we can remember the original 90s Twingo, less so that kind of middle one, which I saw a picture of yesterday and thought, oh gosh, I'd completely forgotten that sort of joint venture they did with Smart. So yeah, I love the new Twingo, and I look at it and I just think that's a bit of me. And I'm very envious of Nikki, who went out to drive it, and I watched that. And you get those videos where you just watch and you think, yeah, I felt that with the Renault 5. I feel it even more, I think, with Twingo.
Even more.
Yeah.
Can I just point something out there, Mike, that may have slipped by you? That when you said you remembered it, Nicola was quite keen to point her finger up and say, "No, I don't."
No,
Because we all had to provide photographs of us in the 90s for that video. Nicola is a child, which really depressed me. I'm like a full-grown adult already reviewing cars.
Yeah.
Nicola is a little girl.
I was like 5.
Don't say, stop it.
I know. Batch sent a picture of him, and I just thought he'd got it mixed up. He'd put a picture of his nephew or something like that.
Batch is younger than me.
It was him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I remember the 90s. If someone said when was the 90s, I'd say about 6 or 7 years ago. It's that's.
It's not. It's definitely not. What do you like about the Twingo, Mike? Because I do agree with you. I think it's definitely giving me Renault 5 vibes. I'm not sure I love it as much as the Renault 5, but I haven't driven it yet. What is it the nostalgia that they've done well? What is it that you like about it?
I think it is it's that kind of reinvention. I think I think they've done that fantastically well in terms of capturing the sort of spirit in the same way the new 500, Electric 500 captured the spirit of the original without copying any exact detail. But it's also the kind of tech story behind it. I mean, did I read about there's 700 parts in a Twingo or something compared to 2,500 in the Clio, and it's that sort of laser-like focus on reducing cost and mass and the design. It's just clever design, isn't it? And I think that's what appeals to me on that car. It's and then the fact that it looks great. I can't wait. I mean, I was disappointed to go on the configurator this morning and it's not live yet. So otherwise I'd have been there choosing
know how
wheels
to
and
spend a
colours
holiday,
and things.
Mike.
Yeah,
You really do.
Yeah.
Treat yourself, Mike.
Ginny, what have you been driving?
Well, I've been driving the ES90, which actually I've already driven before. So I did a first drive of this, I think it was earlier this year. And it is a lovely thing. And I think just being in the back of this just reminds me that I think out of all those sort of premium brands now, if you look at BMW and Mercedes and Audi, I think Volvo are doing just lovely interiors. I love the interior on the forthcoming EX60. It's absolutely beautiful, and it is so plush in the back as well. So often I think all the nice touches, like the lovely sort of, the ambient lighting, you kind of lose it in the, it's all in the front, but you kind of get all of that as well. So it's just, a super thing, very nice to drive. And yeah, I do love the interior, but I've actually been out to drive the Kia EV2.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I saw your video. Yes.
I did, which I think is a cracking little car, actually. And I liked it more than I thought I was going to do. I think Kia's interiors I'm getting a bit bored of now. They've got to just... I know, right? They've got to start speccing something other than the grey interior. Because every Kia I get in now, it's just like a kind of smaller version of the bigger ones. And I would like a bit more colour and a bit more, choice going on in the interior. Moving aside from that, it's a very cute thing. But what actually impressed me was how efficient it was. I think when the first edition comes out, this is going to be the car that will offer the most range for the money in the UK, because it's going to start at £26,995. You get 281 miles of range for that. However, that car gets the full government grant. Well, we think it will. And in the meantime, whilst that's been decided, Kia is offering £3,750 off that car.
Cool.
So that is a lot of range for the money. And what impressed me, it was the efficiency. So driving it out there was in Portugal. It wasn't actually that warm in Portugal. Drove it on motorway, drove it on some busy A roads, drove it on, faster country roads, a little bit around town. So a real kind of good mix. And I was getting bang on WLTP efficiency, claimed efficiency. And I reckon about 50% of the driving that I did that day was on motorway.
Very
I
nice.
think it's going to be very efficient. It's going to be affordable, and you're going to get a lot of range for the money. And then the other one that I've been driving as well was I've been in the BMW iX3, and a car which is incidentally just been named World Car of the Year as of today. So it was
Congrats.
also Electrifying Car of the Year. The iX3 is another car that is incredibly efficient. So again, driving that, I was getting very close to official range in that. So I hope that this is a trend that we're going to see more of, is cars actually meeting their claimed ranges. Because it's been a real bugbear for all of us, hasn't it? That you get
What
in
a
a car.
time to be alive.
I know. God, we need to get out more, don't we? Efficiency is what thrills me on my birthday. Yay!
Yay, birthday efficiency.
Yeah, but I don't know. What do you reckon to the Kia, Mike? It's good range for the money, isn't it? That.
I share your reservations about interior, especially on the smaller cars, because I think smaller cars can be funkier, and that hasn't necessarily translated to. But yes, I think I like the fact that Kia aren't afraid to put quite big batteries in small cars. ID2's that range is good. There's an incredible 200-mile plus range, and also you've got the EV3 with a huge battery as well, so you can get nearly 300 miles range. For me, that seems to be a good thing for getting people into EVs who are scared that they're not going to have enough range. And I think Kia does that very well.
I mean, the EV3 is sold like hotcakes, isn't it? I mean, my friend Maddie's just bought one. She was very excited.
Really?
She's been sending me loads of photos going, look what I bought, because I've been watching all your videos and Electrifying. So I was like, yes, good purchase. She's gone for a long range air trim. That's what she's gone for.
Yeah, that's the perfect one, isn't it?
Yeah. Nailed it.
And Nick, you've just not been thinking about efficiency at all, have you? You've just been driving really bloody quick.
Yeah.
Well, where are your priorities, Nicola?
Well, I like things that go fast, and I found a thing that went really fast. So I have been driving the Porsche Cayenne electric turbo. Now, I technically drove both. I drove the normal Cayenne and then I drove the turbo. And honestly, feels like two completely different cars. So the normal Cayenne has like 400 and something horsepower off the top of my head. I can't remember, but it's 400 and something. And it was a bit rolly and just felt really, really heavy. And then they sat me in the turbo, and that has 1,156 horsepower. And it does like 0 to 62 in 2.5 seconds. And it is stunning. It's stunning. My goodness. It's bloody beautiful. And I know that some people are a bit like, oh, it's an SUV, you shouldn't be putting performance stuff in an SUV. It's just Porsche just trying to get money out of you and all blah, 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 blah. But it's bloody good. And if you've got that money, get it. That's all I can say. If you can afford 130 grand or whatever it is, absolutely blooming go for it. That thing is incredible. Incredible.
No. Do you know what we should also give a shout out to on performance is the new Jaguar GT, because Vicky drove that, which I was so jealous about.
Same.
Oh my God, I was jealous. I'd accepted to go and look at something that wasn't as anywhere near as exciting as that already. So I couldn't go and drive it. So Vicky was like, oh, I'll go. She was really impressed. 1,000 horsepower in that. So it's no slouch. But we've got a full first drive of that on electrifying.com, and there's also a short here on the YouTube channel. But I've had a passenger ride in that car. Vicky has now driven it. We have both seen it. Both of us are actually quite excited about that one. It was really, I was really impressed from the passenger seat. Vicky, very impressed from the driver's seat. So I no doubt we'll talk about it more on a forthcoming podcast, but I think we should give a shout out to that in our weekly drive.
I agree.
Too.
I've also been driving something that annoyingly I can't really tell you much about, but there is a short up on our YouTube channel.
What, you mean the car that you shot, and then after you shot it, they said, no, you can't use any of that?
Oh
that
my
car.
goodness.
That car.
So it's tricky when you have to do a cover drive, right? So we're talking about the new Skoda Epiq, which is the new 7-seater from Skoda. It's going to be their new flagship car, right? So we got invited out. I can't remember which country it was now where we went, but we got invited out, and it was
went to Lake Como. You went to Lake
Como, where it was windy and raining and thunder and lightning, and we went out there and we got to drive the car for about half an hour at 50 kilometers per hour. We filmed an entire video because we got to look at the production car, right? We got to see it. I'm allowed to tell you that I got to see it. And then what we did afterwards was I was like, well, this car is in camouflage, but I've seen it in the metal, and what you can expect is something like this. Filmed an entire video. And then as we are taxiing to the runway to take off to come back home, we get a text saying, you can't say what it might look like. And I was sat there going,
Really?
brilliant. Okay, well, that's my entire video gone. That's great. So we had to turn it into a short in the end of just what it's like kind of to drive. It was hard to tell you because we were only going 50 kph. So I couldn't tell you much about what it was like to drive, but I could tell you a little bit about the batteries and things. And that's pretty much it. But what I can say is I think when you're kind of comparing it to potentially the Peugeot E5008 or even the Kia EV9, it's a nice middle sitter.
Okay.
So in terms of price and in terms of size-wise, much smaller than the EV9, and price much cheaper than the EV9, a little bit more expensive than the 5008, but drives nicer than the 5008. Is the only way
from what you could tell at 50 miles an hour.
From my 20 minutes of driving.
From your extensive, rigorous road test.
Really detailed review, guys. Really good use of my time.
Where do we stand on this whole VW group thing? Because if you're regular listeners to the podcast and you watch our videos and our shorts and you follow us on social, you will know that for the past, 3 years, Mike? I think 3 years.
Yeah,
we have been drip fed little bits and pieces
Mhm.
on one of these small VW group cars after the other, from the ID2 that became the ID Polo to the ID Cross to the Cupra Raval to the Skoda Epiq. It's been never ending.
Never ending. Well, what happens
What?
is you get, so first of all, you get a studio walk around of a concept car, and then you get invited to come and drive the covered version, which means all the interior is completely covered up and the outside is camouflaged. And then you get invited to a studio to see the production version of that car, and then you get to drive the uncovered version of that car, and then that car then arrives in the UK, and then you get invited to drive the same car in the UK. That's 5 things. That's 5 things just for one single car.
Sometimes
It's too
you even
much.
drive the concept, so that's 6.
Oh,
So
that is
sometimes-
6. Yeah.
You broke you broke the concept, so that's 7.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you've had 7 experiences, which is one more than most people.
I think it's
Nothing to be
funny.
proud of there. Nothing to be proud of there, Nick.
I had a great time. I think it's too many things.
It has got a bit to the point where I think they need to stop this now. I don't know another brand other than VW Group that does this quite to this extent. So normally you might see a concept, then you see the production car, and then you drive the production car.
Yeah.
Occasionally there might be a covered prototype drive, but not with all of them. It's a bit odd. Are you bored of it all yet, Mike? Or are you still loving the whole drip feeding?
It catches me out because you say to me, can you do a script for this or a thumbnail for that? And I think, well, I've already done that. Sure.
With nothing left to say.
No, it wasn't and it's interesting with the spy shot stuff and then the covered cars because, car manufacturers have gone from don't look at me to look at me, don't look at me, and then don't look at me, but don't talk about me. And it's kind of constant, never ending, what have I, and it's like you said, it's kind of frustrating that on some launches you get, well, you can talk about that button, but the one that's next to it, don't mention that.
Yeah.
That's got a separate embargo, that button, because that does something else. So, yeah,
So I'm just putting my heated seats back on because they've gone on.
Right.
I've
well,
got a
Ginny
question
does
about
that.
the Volvo
Mike,
interior.
Okay. It's nice.
Mike, have you got any news stories for us?
I have, but can I ask Ginny a question first, please?
Oh, God.
No, no, it's
Yes?
not. It's not a complicated one. I'm running the long-term Volvo EX30 cross country at the moment, and the interior. Because you said the interior in that car. There's a long lead to this question. I appreciate. You said it's very luxurious, very comfortable. Do you think that Volvo have changed a bit from EX30? Because the EX30 is lovely, but it's got an interior that was designed by somebody who doesn't like humans. I think because it's so austere in there. Do you think they were stung by the criticism of that and sort of ramped it up a bit for future ones?
I think they are being very defensive of their decision-making choice. I would say that car was always about being a bit more utilitarian and Swedish. That this car is much more. It's their luxury car, isn't it? It's their, their high-end, top of the range, premium saloon. So this was always going to be more luxurious. However, it is very interesting because on the Volvo EX60, which I have a first look video of here on the channel, there are some switches and some buttons. And there's a glove box that you can actually open without having to press a button in a screen. So I'd say basically yes, Mike. I mean, They're not perhaps saying that out loud, but I think when we will drive the EX60 in a few weeks, and definitely from that first look, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I get where they've gone. They've kind of gone back. But lots of brands are doing that. Lots of brands.
Yeah,
so
no, I
yes,
get it. They were all started because Tesla was the first brand to kind of take buttons out and make everything quite simple and I get it. Sorry, Nicola, to go back to your earlier question, news stories. Yes,
So
Mercedes, keeping with the premium brands, are about to launch an EQS that will have a steer-by-wire system. Now you've been to try it, Ginny, but I mean, we've done a big Q&A on the site about steer-by-wire and is it safe? Should you choose it? What's the advantages? What's the disadvantages? If you've flown on a plane in the last 20 years, the pilot doesn't connect it to the controls aren't necessarily all been fly-by-wire in Airbuses. So it's a technology that's very well proven, but it's taken a blooming long time to come to cars. But the Mercedes one, it sounds like a good system. What's it like, Jen? Have you tried it? You've tried it, haven't you?
Yeah, I tried it. I really liked it. I mean, it's the thing for me is I'm not a massive person, so I get in a lot of cars, and there's a big steering wheel in front of me, and it does feel really big. And I think something that lots of women and smaller people can relate to. What I loved was you've got in this big car, so it's in the EQS. It's not a small car, and you've got this lovely, very beautifully designed yoke steering wheel. Feels so nice in my hands. It just feels like normal size. It's lovely.
You are pocket size.
I am. It's a pocket-sized steering wheel for a pocket-sized Ginny. But what you get is the turning circle on it. So, obviously, the ratios on the turning circle are incredible. So you're manoeuvring this very big car, and I was doing like a little slalom course and going around roundabouts in it. You're doing it effortless. So I really like that. And then I haven't tried it out at high speeds on the motorway, but the flip side of that is that once you get to high speeds on the motorway, it gives you more stability and more control. It takes you a little bit to get used to the first couple of times, but I absolutely loved it. I would have it in any car that I own. And you don't even, you're not thinking it's disconnected to a steering column. That's not going through your mind when you're driving it. Of course it's not, because it doesn't really look that different. So yeah, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I think what they were very clever with at Mercedes is you're actually getting sort of feedback from the road as you're driving, which of course isn't there because it's not connected to the road. But they're using tech and AI to give you that feeling of feedback as well. So you actually still feel quite involved in what the car's doing. But I really liked it. Have either of you tried it? I don't know. I know Vicky's tried it. She likes it. I don't know if you've tried it.
I tried it in the Polygon, in the new Peugeot.
Polygon.
So it's going to end up in the new E208. It's going to end up in all the new Peugeots, but their shape is more like a kind of rectangle steering wheel with 4 circles, like along the top and in the corners. Yeah. And I tried it around a little sort of slalom course thing, and I was like, oh, this is actually very satisfying. And then I tried to park, and parking was a breeze. I'm actually quite a big fan.
Yeah. Have you tried it yet, Mike?
I haven't, no. But Tom tried it because when I was writing this Q&A, it suddenly threw it back. I said, Tom drove that last year, I'm sure, in the Lexus RZ450e. No, but that was 3 years ago. And when
Yeah.
Tom did that drive, he said it was brilliant. Exactly the same feedback as you, Ginny. He said it was great with the road feedback. Even things like the lane keep assist were far more gentle and intuitive because it's not tugging at actual physical steering column. But you still can't buy that car with it. And when it was coming soon 3 years ago, it's still, the Japanese market you can specify, but for some reason it hasn't come to Europe. But I think it's going to be huge in Europe because the Chinese manufacturers, I think it's 5 different Chinese manufacturers have all agreed with the authorities in China and a set of standards for steer-by-wire. So that will make, at the moment they have to all individually go through all these type approval and regulatory approval to get that system to be legal on their cars. But if they agree a standard, like CCS is a standard, then they'll all have to build to that same rule book, that same regulations, which will make it cheaper. So I think we'll see a lot coming because the Chinese will be fantastic at building it down to price. But interesting, a lot of the Chinese brand stuff are used is all by ZF, which is a German brand. So I think it's interesting.
Do you think it then makes it cheaper and easier to switch it between left-hand drive and right-hand drive?
Yeah. You're only making one steering rack. It's going to make a huge difference.
But also, I was talking to the engineering team about it, and they were saying, presumably you don't even need a steering wheel because you don't, right? You could have a games type controller. You could have a joystick.
Stop it.
Drive on.
You could. And they're like, well, we don't want to do that yet because we don't want to freak people out. We want it to have that familiar feeling. But yeah, you could have anything. You could literally use a joystick.
You need to slowly release the crazy, I think, rather than just throwing everything out at once.
I know, but anyway, I'm actually really excited for more of us on the team to try that. So I think it's very cool. I've got a little news story that I wanted to mention. I saw that. Do you remember there was loads of hoo-ha about Sony doing a car with Honda? It was this joint venture, and it was going to be, so incredible, and it was going to have all this technology and screens and high definition sound. And I went to see it in Los Angeles at the LA show last year when I was out there. And honestly, I can't think of a bigger letdown. I think I was expecting something fabulous because it was Sony on the technology front. Yeah, they've got a mega screen, but honestly, the hyper screen in a Mercedes is better, I've thought, and was better quality. And the only thing that it seemed to do that was a bit different was it had this kind of digital display on the front, and you could program messages on it. So it was kind of like you could program like "Have a nice day" to other road users, or when you're coming to school, you could program "Here to pick up Jack." I didn't really understand. Or advertising, you could advertise your company on it. I was like, guys, this was too much for me. Anyway, no surprises. That's been canned. That's not happening. So I don't know what Honda are doing anymore with electric cars, but they're definitely not doing the project with Sony. So yeah, that's gone.
Yeah, I don't know any Honda gossip. Is there any Honda gossip, Mike? What's coming?
No, but I think perhaps they should call it the Sony You'll Have to Walkman.
Oh, Mike.
You can tell he's been on holiday. He's got a relaxed brain. He's on top form today.
It's talking about joint ventures. If I can rescue this from the kind of, cracker jokes. It reminds me, you got two great brands there, haven't you? How have they managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory? Honda and Sony, they were. It reminds me a little bit, which we're going back in time now, but we're talking about old stuff, aren't we? There was a car called the Arna, which was a joint venture between Alfa Romeo and Nissan. But they managed to seem to get it the wrong way round. Instead of because the idea was that it was going to pull the best from both worlds. But they ended up with Nissan doing the design, so it looked pretty boring. Yeah. And they got Alfa to do the engineering and the engine. So you ended up with this car that looked terrible, but was also desperately unreliable. It's like somehow the message had got round the wrong way. And I feel like it was the Afila, the Sony-Honda joint venture is a similar sort of thing.
Pick our worst bits.
Pick up the worst bits.
But the worst bit is, I think in the announcement it said, Sony had said, so we can't do this anymore because Honda's now not making the platform.
Yeah.
Because they're not making electric cars because they've dropped their family electric cars. And you're just like, wouldn't you've got that locked down before you launched a JV that actually you were pretty secure that you were going to have the use of a platform
Ginny,
anyway.
don't bring logic into this, please.
Nah.
Well, at
Okay.
least,
What else
at
have we
least,
got?
Hon-
What
at
else
least
have we
Honda
got,
are doing well in Formula One, aren't they? So they've got that to rely on.
Well, yeah, maybe we'll move on from Formula One because they're just, no one's having a good time over at Honda right now. But, right, because it's Easter, I wanted to pick out our favourite Easter eggs. I'm not talking chocolate. I'm not talking chocolate. Although for me, I'll have a bounty. Thank you very much. So I want you to pick out your favourite Easter eggs that you've spotted in cars. So I'm going to kick this thing off, right? In the Skoda Epiq, which is the one that I couldn't really tell you much about, I did spot in the window, in the main windscreen window, there's a little emblem of cyclists just heading up like they're riding up the top of the window, which is a really nice nod to the Skoda cycling partnership. So I was like, oh, that's nice. I'm going to mention that on the podcast.
That's nice. I like that. What have you got, Mike?
Well, as you know, I've got a Buzz, and that is just full of Easter eggs and things.
Yes.
It's hard to find. I mean, my favourite one, which possibly isn't the most obvious one, is the sort of the sort of strap on the when you open the sliding door that's above it. It's exactly the same design as the one that was in the original Beetle. It's fabric in the Beetle, and it's plastic now, but it's the same design with the sort of slight coat hook at the top and everything. And it's that. I mean, the car has got probably 15 or 20 or so Easter eggs in it. I kind of wish they'd spent the time getting other bits right before they started.
Well, like
too much
the
time.
entertainment system and the software.
Yeah. It would have been nice if they'd spent a bit more time doing that than packing it full of Easter eggs on screw covers and that sort of thing. Which is, I mean, the thing is, you get to see that screw cover quite a lot because you have to take the door panels off quite a bit to reset the child locks. So someone has perhaps thought about that, but it is full of it.
Yeah. I've got one in this car actually. So in the ES90, there's a lovely light pattern that's sort of ingrained into the designed into the dashboard, and in that, the part of the light pattern is Morse code for Volvo, which is very sweet.
Oh, nice.
Very sweet. And I think my favourite one in a concept car is "May the downforce be with you" at the back of the Hyundai Concept 3. So if you go right down under the diffuser, it's just got "May the downforce be with you" written
Love
there,
it.
which
That's
I
stunning.
love. But I think the best one ever, I think it's an Easter egg. Fart mode in a Tesla. Come on. It's the best thing in the world, isn't it?
Are we allowed to class it as an Easter egg, or is that just a gimmick?
I don't know. I'll let the audience be the judge of that. I mean, literally, I went through about 5 years of my life where my son was a certain age where literally he would beg me to get Tesla loan cars in just so he could drive along and set fart mode because it was
Ginny,
utterly brilliant.
it
So I don't
doesn't
know.
matter how old you are. Farts will always be funny.
It will
Always.
always be funny.
Yeah.
Does that, let's ask the audience, let us know what are your favourite Easter eggs in cars, podcast@electrifying.com. We'll do a follow-up Easter special. And also, am I allowed fart mode? Is it an Easter egg or is it, I don't know.
A gimmick.
A gimmick. But
It's a
aren't
gimmick.
Easter eggs gimmicks? I don't know. Mike? No?
I think there's got to be a degree of it hidden because I saw on somebody mentioned the baguette holder in the Renault 5.
Yeah.
To me, that's a feature. That's not.
That is a
that's not-
feature.
It's
In the
on
Renault
the-
5, you've got the little tag on the back of the seat that's
Yeah.
got all the
More
images
so.
of the original Renault 5. That's an Easter egg.
Yes.
Okay,
No,
so
I
my
agree.
fart mode is not an Easter egg then.
No, it's just
If
funny
it's hidden,
farts.
which technically it's
It is
hidden, you have to
hidden.
find it.
It's
You have to
hidden.
find it and switch it on. So yeah, I
and they don't tell you about it. All right, I'll just go with "May the downforce be with you" and Volvo written in Morse code then. But let us know
Nice.
what your favourites are. Drop us a comment, podcast@electrifying.com.
Stunning. Right.
Stunning.
Mike, have you had a chat with Tom Barnard? Have we got a Barnard's bargain?
Yeah, he's telegraphed it in this morning. He sent it by carrier pigeon, which landed on this windowsill here with Tom's Barnard's
so
bargain on it. I mean, it's a long old flight to hear from Luton, wherever he lives. Yes. Do you know what? It's thin pickings at the moment on the. Maybe because it's March, maybe because the registration's changed, maybe manufacturers are easing off a little bit, but there's not some fantastic. The only one I found, which I could kind of combine you two with it as well, was the Ford Capri. I know a car that you both love.
I'm
very
saying
much.
nothing.
And are Ford talking to us again now since that, when you badged it a Cortina? Anyway, I found a Ford Capri style. It's 52 kilowatt hours, it's a small battery, 36 months, £2,800 down, and it's £280 a month. So I consider anything under £300 a month for a full-size proper car isn't bad.
It's a big
So
car.
that's the best. That's the best I could find was the Ford.
Yes,
It's a lot of car for your money. You just got
Yes.
to maybe just cover over the badge and you're good to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still no from me, I'm afraid.
Okay,
Not
good.
even
I'm
at
glad
that.
I've hit the mark with that one.
They
We can blame
really,
Tom.
really,
I'll send the
really
pigeon
nailed
back.
that this week then. Good, yeah. Tom,
I'll send the pigeon back to Tom and say no. Okay, that's fine. It's a long old way back. Just a little-
if you wonder what we're on about, so when I first went to see the Ford Capri in studio, I was devastated because it wasn't a Capri. And I said to the designer, I was like, it's got the same wing mirrors and doors as the Explorer. He was like, yes, it has. So I got very, very upset about that because you like, call it something else, mate. Don't call it a Capri. So when Nicola went to drive it, we had a little badge made for you, didn't we, Nicola? What did the badge say?
We stuck Mondeo stickers on
That's
it.
right.
'cause we
Mondeo wasn't
thought,
Cortina, was it?
if you're going to
Mondeo.
bring back a name, bring back the Mondeo, because that was also a cracking car. If you want to turn something into an SUV, it will work on a Mondeo. And Ford weren't very happy about it because then when I went to the Ford Puma launch, it was like all the people from Ford were coming up and going, "What badges have you got this time, Nicola?" I'm like, "Oh, it's fine. I don't have anything with me. I'm really sorry."
But we were all complicit. It was my idea. Mike had them made up, but you were just the one who had to go out there and action it. You were like, on the frontier.
I don't mind. I don't mind being thrown under the bus. It was very funny and it made for a good video. So there you go. Right, let's have a look at some comments, shall we? What we got? Oh, so welcome to a new member of the gang at ES Derby 1477. First time watching this podcast and truly love the conversation. So welcome. ES Derby, and welcome to our Electric Virgin of the Week. So this is at iFanLapage 1033. I think I read that right. Loving the show. I've joined the club. Got a second-hand 22-plate Kia e-Niro in December. Had to include the price of a charger in my finances, but loving the electric experience, getting between 3.2 to 4.6 miles per kilowatt hour driving around town, depending on whether the heating is on. Well, also, we're approaching spring, so hopefully it'll warm up soon. But yes, congratulations on getting your first EV. Very nice.
Good choice.
Absolutely. And if you are joining the club and our electric virgins, do let us know and we'll give you a shout out. Send us an email, podcast@electrifying.com. Or you can also let us know in the comments below.
Very nice. We also have, this is all around efficiency, right? So we got a message from @David Jones, JZ9SB, who says, the range obsession is becoming crazy. Let's be real. I would rather have a smaller battery and better efficiency. 250 to 300 miles with a fast charging speed is enough for the UK, in my opinion.
Yes. Agree. We've got to stop being obsessed about it, haven't we? An efficient car.
I only get a car if it goes 650,000 miles in one charge.
But that line's changed, hasn't it? When I first bought my i3, I said, "Oh, it's terrible. I'm going to buy a car that does 200 miles. I wouldn't buy an electric car." And then all the 200-mile range car came out, and then it was everyone else. "Oh, I'm not going to buy it. It can't do 300 miles." And now what are we up to? 500 miles?
500. It's 500 miles now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but now we've got 500
mile
mile cars, so it's going to go up to 6.
If I can't drive to Aberdeen and back with a trailer, then I'm not interested. So. On the subject of efficiency, we had another comment from Mike A. Davis 660 says, we currently own an early Mercedes EQC, and one of the great advantages of its lack of efficiency is its second-hand price. It's still a wonderfully built car, and on the overnight electricity costs, it only costs us £30 a month to run. Yeah, I mean, those early sort of big executive cars are great value now, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. And we've had loads of you getting in touch with your efficiency ratings for your cars because we're going to start collecting them all. And Michael Kirkham emailed in with current efficiency numbers on current and past electric cars. And goodness me, there is a list here. So, Michael, I think maybe we should find out what you think of the cars as well because you've had so many. BYD C-Line 7 Excellence. He's had an Audi e-tron. Previous cars include Citroen e-Berlingo, another Mercedes EQE, a Model S, Tesla Model S long range.
Getting about a bit.
Honestly, so we've got brilliant stats there that we're going to add into the spreadsheet. So you are keeping the spreadsheet, aren't you, Nick? Because you can pop those in the spreadsheet. The efficiency spreadsheet.
I have got it. Definitely. Yeah.
Good. From all
Yeah.
the people that are sending the efficiency numbers in, they're going in your spreadsheet.
Direct to Nicola,
yeah,
please. Send them to direct to Nicola. We'll
send
her
it over to me, and I will add it to all of the other things that I've definitely kept and am doing. It's fine. Okay. Should we move on while I
move
try and
on.
find the spreadsheet within my laptop? So we've got a message here. This is a used buying question. So we've got a message from Glenn. I'm going to go for Bal Brown. That's what I'm going to go for pronunciation. I apologise if I've got that wrong. Who says, "Hi team. I am looking at going to full EV, but I'm happy to wait for my electric looped supply to be changed before I can have a home charger fitted. However, if I came across a car which I felt was a good deal, is it viable to charge using public charging and remain at the same or even better price point, especially now the petrol prices are rising? I'm looking at a Megane E-Tech. Thanks, Glenn."
Oh, okay.
Basically, he doesn't want to jump at the gun until he gets a home charger. And he's like, is it worth me just, while I can find a good deal on the Megane, is it worth me just getting one and just doing public charging? Is what
I
he's
think
asking.
the problem is that whenever we've run the numbers on it, it really depends on what kind of public charging you're doing. So if you're reliant on rapid chargers, your cost per mile, sadly, because the government still blooming charges 20% VAT on public charging instead of the 5% VAT on home charging, as if you're not disadvantaged enough already by not having these low off-peak tariffs. Anyway, because of that, it ends up it can end up costing you more per mile than a petrol car, but only if you're only using rapid charging. So if you're able to kind of use, AC charging, you're able to perhaps charge up overnight somewhere locally. I think actually it's still a really good time to make the switch because you will definitely save money on that. And I would imagine as well that those figures on the rapid charging have changed slightly now as we're seeing petrol prices increase. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Any other thoughts on that one, Mike? What would be your two penneth on that?
I would say two things. I would say one, not all rapid chargers are created equal. So if you're nearby or on one of your regular journeys, you happen to be on a Tesla open charger, they are way cheaper, 30, 40p cheaper to charge at a Tesla, the publicly open one. And also, it's hugely frustrating. We come across quite a few people who've had looped supplies where a house has been built and another one next to it, and it shares the supply from the road. So, but what you might be able to do is have a granny charger. And if you're if you only need to get 20 miles overnight, something like that, then that would still work. You can still do that without having to have a full 7 kilowatt home charger. So I would say probably a mix and match, really. It may be that you can't do that, and you only travel past really expensive 90p a kilowatt hour chargers, in which case, it's much better. But I wouldn't let it put you off. There's obviously a plan in sight for you to get it fixed or get the house unlooped. I would, take the plunge. Yeah, if you see something you like, get it, because deals don't hang around forever.
It's exciting.
I do, go for it, and then let us know. Then you can be our electric virgin of the week, Glenn.
Yay!
Yay!
Obviously, set fire to your house. Plugging in a granny charger. It didn't come from us. Okay,
Mike never said that.
I didn't say that. No.
Before we wrap up, can I just throw into the mix, first of all, an apology from me to you two, Ginny and Mike, for my very, very ranty voice note that I sent to the Electrifying WhatsApp group earlier on this week. Because I say earlier on this week, I don't even know what day it is today, but I had to drive up to Luton Airport in my long-term Polestar 4.
Oh gosh,
now,
you were not.
We're just gonna finish on a little mini rant. All right, I think this is a nice way to end. Okay, this Polestar 4 has been the bane of my life. Okay, the software in this car is infuriating, and I am fully up to date with all of the software updates. I get messages from Polestar saying, do you want to try this, try that, try and unlog your profile, try and log it back in again, all this sort of stuff. That should be fine now. But this is now three times in the however many months that I've had this car, which hasn't been a long time at all, 3 times that everything has gone dead within the car while I'm driving it. So I was on the M25, I'm driving up towards Luton Airport, and all of the screens go dead. The head-up display stays on, but the driver's screen and the main screen goes dead. And I was like, as if this is happening again. This is absolutely infuriating. The driver's screen takes about 30 seconds to come back on again. The infotainment screen takes about 15 minutes, and then you have no sound. And I'm talking about no indicator sounds, no nothing. And I was livid that it's happened again. So I had to pull into Cobham Services, switch off the car, sort of lock it, and then wait for another 15 seconds, get back in the car. It then wouldn't connect to my Apple CarPlay because that's just really annoying. And then I was trying to get Luton Airport onto Google Maps, and it was like, what do you mean? There's no such thing as Luton Airport. You're crazy, Nicola. What a strange thing to say. And I'm just sat there, just the angriest. You know where your nostrils go just because you're so livid with a bit of software in a car. The annoying thing is, right, this car... Sorry, this car.
It's scaring me.
Listen to me. Ginny, let me rant. So it drives perfectly fine. Okay, it's very wide. It drives perfectly fine. The battery has been great in terms of range. It's been absolutely brilliant. I have had no issues with charging. None of that. The interior, the materials is all really stunning. The software. The software is slowly, I think, killing me. So I sent a voice note to the Electrifying group. May have thrown in some swears. And that's the third time now. So watch this space, because it's probably going to happen again. It now it's at the point where every time I get in the car, I'm like, who knows if suddenly everything's going to cut out again. It's all part of the fun of owning a Polestar 4. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
I think we really ought to have this. I'm going to find that voice message, and we need to put it on this podcast, don't we?
I'll find it. Let me.
I'm just bleep the swears.
I'm actually going to try and find I'm going to try and find the voice note. Let's just see.
It was in the Electrifying crew group, I think.
It's in the Electrifying crew group.
Yeah.
You're really not having a good time, are you, with this?
I'm not. I'm really not. And I'm trying.
EX30 does the same thing. It drops I get the black screen of death probably once a week.
Do you lose your sound?
Loses everything. Don't know whether the indicators are on or not.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
So you don't know what else is not working. Either the brakes light's not working. You don't. You kind of just have to pull it. And then, like you say, then you have to go through the entire. Forget the phone. Reconnect the phone. Do you want to use CarPlay? Yes. Yeah. The entire thing. It's 10 minutes every time.
Right. I actually have. Should we just play it? Should we play it?
It's the first one, not the second one. The second one was me going, I can't.
This is the third time now, after 2 more software updates, that everything has gone blank in this car. In the Polestar 4, it's just happened again. And now I have no sound again, no indicator sounds. So I'm going to have to find somewhere to fucking pull over and reboot the car again.
You weren't happy, Nick.
I wasn't happy.
I was like just sort of sat there having a cup of tea after like the morning meeting. I was like, oh god. Okay, all right.
I just need you to understand the rage that goes through my body every time that happens in that car.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Should we end on that high note then? Should we end
finish
the
on a
podcast on a high note?
Happy Easter,
good.
everyone.
Happy Easter. Happy 100th podcast to us. Thanks to all of you who have listened and liked and subscribed and shared our podcast. Please do much, much more of it so we can get to another 100.
Yes.
What do you reckon?
Let's do that. Yeah.
Please,
subscribe, all the things. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you drive a Polestar 4, let me know if you've also felt the same rage, and we can get together for a drink. Maybe meet up at a punch bag so we can release our anger. That'll be really nice. Lovely stuff.
I think you need to start a self-help group, actually.
I think you're right, babe. I think you're right. Okay, on that note, Ginny, go and enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Bye.